Okay, glad to see that you're back with me. This is the first picture that I have done with my rosebud out of my garden. It's on my Etsy site. My name over there is Pam One Stroke. And if you've not been following along, you need to go back and find the first video on this. This is video number 2. We are to this step. We've got just kind of a little bit of a mess going on, but it's not too bad. Now we're going to start all the fun blending. So I have sharpened my pencil. I've got my 1018, which is the lightest pink that I used. And I'm going to come in and just start doing little circles. I'm using this as a blender. I'm using this as a colorless blender. The reason I'm using this instead of a colorless blender is because now I can come in and I'm adding more color to it instead of just moving around the color that's on it. Okay? I know this is kind of like watching paint dry, but I've had several people that are like, please don't speed up your videos. So we are going to do this in real time. Now, when you get to where you've got a big color change, that's where you need to run along beside it and not circle through it. Because what that means is that's where there was a separate color and there was a line there. So this is where the petal is tucking down in there. So just go along beside it. Now, where the colors here fade gradually, then yes, that is where you want to go ahead and blend your colors. So I'm coming in with the little nice, neat circles and just blending the colors. If they come out a little bit, that's fine. Just keep blending. Turn this a little so it's more comfortable for me to work. You turn yours however you're more comfortable working. See how these are blending together though? Remember how shocking it was when I first used that second color we did? Like, oh, that's bright. But now do you see how it's okay? So, yeah, it's all right. Just keep blending. I'm still seeing a lot of white paper showing through, so that's how I know my blending is not finished yet. Okay? And then I'm going to show you how to fix some areas. See how there's a definite line right there? I don't need that. So I'm going to come back in with my darkest shade. I'm going to lightly, very lightly add some of that color. Then come in with my lightest shade and do my ovals and blend. Do you see how it fixed it? Now I don't have just a line there anymore. I've got an entire area that looks like it's cupped and going back in there. And that's what I wanted. Now I can blend this line just a little and keep coming on around. Okay, it's all we're doing is just blending and touching up a little bit as we go. See, now this is down in that throat area, so it's going to come from the light into dark. So as we go down into this dark, it should be blending for us if we've staggered our colors the way that we needed to. See how you're going down in the basement? It's getting darker. Keep going down, down, down. Keep those circles going. It's going to make your blending so much easier. See, I can blend away those lines that were right there. Just blend them away. Okay. Now as I'm coming back up, it should start getting a little bit lighter again. Following down the side, doing just a petal at a time, not doing all over the whole piece, doing a petal at a time here. Now I did jump from that petal down into this petal. Don't know what to tell you on that. I get sidetracked easily. I don't know. But as long as you're not trying to just go over the whole piece, you know what I'm saying? Keep your areas in their areas. Because you could literally blend this all the way across and not have those lines. And you want those lines because that's what's telling you one petal from the other. And I've done this rose twice now, and you're going to see how they're different. Not just because the color, but the areas that are shaded are going to be different. Okay? Now, I am going to go back over to this original one that we were doing. Go over it several times. It takes several passes to get rid of that white that's down in the paper, the tooth of the paper. That's all right. Just keep going over it. Hard to believe Christmas is less than a week away. You've got somebody that you're still needing gifts for and you can't think of anything, run off some coloring pages. You know, go on over to Etsy. There's tons of digital downloads, and I'm not just talking about mine. I don't have all that many, but there are a lot of digital downloads available, and you just print them out, put a set of colored pencils with it, wrap it up, put a bow on it, and you've got a gift. Coloring books are still just so in and hot right now. I don't think you can go into a store that's a knick-knack or bookstore and not find something that's coloring. I was able to find a coloring calendar for my husband's aunt and uncle. We usually get them a desk calendar every year. Well, I got them a coloring one this year at Five Below for $4. So that was pretty cool. So, yeah, they don't watch my videos, so. And she's very artsy. She, in fact, she's a quilter. So I feel like it's something that she'll like. And he just enjoys having the calendars. We get him a calendar every year. So that fulfilled his need too. Let's face it, generally, if you make the female in the couple happy, you're making the male in the couple happy. So, okay, still going the direction that the petal is. See, this is a little petal individual from this one. So I'm doing just this petal. And that's where it went down in there. Are you coloring with me? I hope so. I really enjoy making the videos, but I really enjoy knowing that you like some of the pages I pick. I've been trying to do a lot of freebies here lately. And the next one after this will be another freebie, but it will not be Greyscale. I will be off of Greyscale for a little bit until I get some more of my own made up. All right, look at that. Is it coming together? Pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and keep working along this one long petal that's flipped out. Okay, so work in your sections. I know last time we went all over putting in the lights and darks, but now you need to stay in your section as you're blending. Don't go into another section blending, or you'll lose your petals altogether. So do section at a time with your circles. You do your circles, then even if you get a little color happy, you're not going to end up looking like it's scribbled. Okay? Now, do you see, because of the coloration, that looks like it's turned under a little? Let me show you something between these two. Do you see how this one has the dark lines? So that's something you can come back and add. All right, if you want more lines in it for it to look more rippled, you just come back and add those. Make sure you do them at an angle though. Okay, this one I'm doing more smoothly. This is for the beginner that's just not really sure if this is something they want to do. I'm trying to show you how easy Greyscale is. Greyscale is almost cheating because it does all the hard work for you. It really does. It shows you right where to put your lights and darks. And it's a great way for someone to start into coloring, because it will help you see where your darks and lights go. Isn't that neat though? Just the way it pops, it just comes alive. Okay, let's go ahead. I am going to sharpen this a little bit. Actually, I can start using off this side, roll it, and use off this side, and that'll work. I'm coming into the deepest, darkest area, doing the circles, and this is going to start moving that color around. So stay in your circles as best you can as you come out of that throated area. Okay, you see how nicely that's blending? So even though you thought my color choices were going to be a little bit wild, I must say I think they're turning out okay. Just keep circling. When your hand's to the point that you're tired, go stop and take a break. Grab some dark chocolate. Grab some hot chocolate to go with it. Get a good chocolate rush going. I did set a timer so that when 30 minutes is up, I stop, because I do not want this to time out before we finish. I'm not going to work ahead. We're going to do this together. Okay? So just keep in the ovals. Keep blending your colors. Staying in the one petal at a time. You can always go back over anywhere that you don't think blended well. Just go back over it some more. Keep adding color. Just looking to see how much pencil lead I have left. I don't want to end up scraping the wood right down on my page. but I want to use as much of it as I can so that I'm not sharpening a pencil when I don't need to, and sharpening off some good pencil that could have been used. Okay, getting right up in there, blending those colors. Back to my ovals as soon as I can. Yeah, just double checking the camera. Nothing worse than coloring along and then finding out I was off the page or not even filming. And that's happened, trust me. Both things have happened. Okay, now I'm going to come along this way for a minute and then do little tiny ovals up there. I want to keep that edge. Remember that edge was like white? So I'm going to come down under that edge because I want to keep that edge in the lightest that it can be. So just coming up under there, leaving that in the lightest light so that it does look like it's flipped over the top. Lots of circles, I know. But hopefully you're going to look at it in the end and go, oh my gosh, that was so worth it. So amazing. I'll have to take this one and put it over on my Etsy as another example of what you can color. And then also over on Etsy I'll add the link to where these videos are. Link them both back and forth to each other. I'll also link the Etsy to this down in my comments or in my description one. I'll make sure that the link's available so that you'll have an easy way to get to the page if it's something you decide you want to color. Okay, I'm thinking I need to sharpen. I've been pretty brutal with that pencil. Now, I do have an electric sharpener or a battery operated, but this little cheap thing has been working really well for me. This is my travel sharpener. Don't push in hard, just soft, turn. See how I've got the baggie right here? Catches all my trash. I'm going to put it face down now and keep sharpening. Yeah, don't push it in hard. I seldom get breakage. Now watch, this will be broken. But I don't get a lot of breakage. So it's just a cheap sharpener. I think part of it's don't wedge your pencil in real hard. And see, it's still got that flat end because that's where I was coloring from. And that's fine. I'm going to leave that flat so that it gives me a surface to start with. Okay, I'm coming right back in, doing my ovals. Put that lip in good, and then go along under it. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? Like I said, I've done several grayscale coloring pictures, and it still just amazes me how pretty awesome they turn out. And again, I am using the lightest color that I did my base coat colors with to do all of my blending. It's just what I do, and for me it works. So do what works for you. Now I'm coming out on this side. And I'm going to start my ovals going this way. know we'll have to have another video because we haven't done any of the greenery yet. And that greenery, it's pretty cool because it's blurred. Makes it really easy to do. It takes a while, yes, because there's so much of it. But I'm telling you, now remember that came up right here? And then that's tucked down inside, so don't go into that part yet. See, that's why I'm doing it along with you. Okay, I'm going to turn. So if you're working with me, turn and see if it helps you to get up in there better. Yeah, Greyscale is very forgiving. As long as you get your lights and darks in there, come back in and just start blending. It's not real hard to do. And you can come away with something looking really spectacular, very dramatic. People will be like, you did that with pencils? And you're like, oh yeah. Okay, see how that looks like it's just tucked down underneath and then this one comes out? And see, not that hard. Now I'm going to come in here and see how that line comes up. Let's get that light back in there again. And then we'll start on this side. And we'll just blend, because this is what's coming out, that throated area that's coming out of the side where this petal is wrapped around. Now I want that to come up and out just a little more. So I'm going to come in with my second pink. Light little circles. Just adding a little more color. Okay. Come back in here with this one. Just do some blending. It just made that color come up some. My change was a little too dull. Okay, now as we look at this, this is a separate petal than this out here. Okay, if it helps you, keep that Etsy link pulled up and look at my original if you're not coloring along with me, if it helps you to see the different petals, or if it helps you, do these one petal at a time, you know, from start to finish. That's totally up to you. Like I said, a lot of people will color one area at a time. This time I just chose to go ahead and do all of the darks at once and move up, you know, each color in the entire piece instead of per petal, if that makes sense. So if it helps you, you can do one petal at a time in its entirety. You don't have to do the whole flower at once like I did. Now, do you see how that is really standing out? I don't like that. I want that to fade in a little bit. So I'm going to come in with my second pink. Little circles. A little bit lighter touch as I come out. Okay, and then let's go back in start blending again. Let's see what happened. I may need to put a little more in yet. Just moving that color around. Telling you, if you go over a spot often enough, see how that blended out? You just have to keep going over it and over it and over it. There is so much tooth in paper, even this cheap printer paper. I usually try to get the paper that is from the scrapbooking area of the craft stores. This paper is actually from Tuesday Morning, and I got to tell you, it's not real good, but it works. So I am still going to use it because it was a 50 count package of paper, but I will use it on a lot of my background and my scrapbooking and not as much for my coloring. But I do use it some on my coloring. Obviously I am today. So yeah, just keep blending. Keep blending. Well, I hope everybody has most of their Christmas shopping done. Safe travels for you that are going to be in the car, traveling, anything such. May you stay safe. See each little section. I don't always tell you when I change sections because I want you to learn to see that on your own. You see how those are working though? Isn't that cool? I like it, but I can see somebody doing one of these in blues. Wouldn't that be cool? Your deep dark blues, and then up to your pastel cloud blue or your pale blue for the softest colors. Yeah, I think that would be really pretty. If you're in the group, and it's an all ladies group, Coloring Books Keep It Clean over on Facebook, if you do one of these roses, please be sure and post it. I would love to see how you do and what color you use. There's the timer. So we're going to do right here in this area, and then when we come back we'll finish these areas and the bud, and then the one after that we'll get on the green and we will be homeward bound. All right, what do you think? How's yours coming? Are you liking it? You should be to the point now where you know if you're going to like it. Now, it's not over till it's over, but at this point, you should kind of have an idea. All right? And this still needs more blending. I can tell just by looking at it that there's a lot of white showing through mine. I don't know how yours is. You're going to have to judge your own. I can't do that for you. Okay, I also want that lip to pop just a little. So I'm going to come in here. See how when I go under here, and then I go in little circles to blend it, See how it just made that pop a little? So you can go back in and do little things like that just to help highlight and add. But anyway, alas, we are done for this time. We'll be back in a little bit and we will work on these last 2 petals and the bud, and then that'll be video 3. And then video 4 we'll do the greenery. All right, catch you in a bit.